Welcome to my YouTube channel, 1428 Financial Wellness. My name is Dondre Brown. My goal is to help you take control of your finances. No excuses, any means necessary. Let's jump into today's lesson. So today, as we think about the corona times, right, and some of you may have lost your jobs, have suffered some type of financial impact. You may be draining your savings now or looking to spend from your savings. You may not have a savings. You may be looking for other jobs. I'm here to really help you talk about or help you think about your finances a little bit differently, but also start to think about how you can utilize a spending plan to help your finances. So what I had to do growing up was learn how to really budget, right? A lot of us, we budget from the brain and spend from the heart, right? So we think about everything we need to pay for and everything, all the places we want to put our money. But then when we get our money, sometimes we spend based on how we feel, right? So today, hopefully we connect those two and really help you utilize a spending plan. So today, again, we want to think about things that are very necessary and needed in our current state, right? We want to think about those need expenses versus those want expenses. Now more than ever, you should literally be creating a list of things that I need versus things that I want, right? And what are those things, right? Do you need more toilet paper, right? Do you need more tennis shoes, right? Do you need a laptop at this point? Do you need Starbucks coffee, right? What is a need? What is a want? You really need to think about that as we go through this lesson and talk about how we can help you utilize your spending plan. So here are the essential necessities that I'm pretty sure not many people can argue, right? So things that we need, we definitely need food, right? You need to eat. We need to make sure that we're consuming things. My goal is to be more healthy and become more healthy. So I've really been focused on healthier food. Sometimes people may say that's more expensive. But if you think about the cost of the doctor bill, it's a lot cheaper to become healthy or be more healthy so that you avoid some of those medical bills. And you can live longer. But shelter, right? Without question, our goal is to make sure that we have our rent paid, have our mortgages paid, make sure we have some place to stay. Clothing, right? We want to make sure that we're clothed. And then transportation. We want to make sure that we can get to wherever we need to get to when we need to get there. So transportation includes shoes, right? Making sure that you have comfortable shoes so that if you are someone that's walking, you can do that. If you're catching a bus, making sure you have bus fare, using Uber, all those things, that's transportation. But one thing that can be argued about these necessities is the quality and the quantity of it, right? So are you the type of person that loves to eat a lot of lobster? And if you are, does your budget fit or your spending plan fit that reality, right? So we'll talk more about how to utilize a spending plan, but here are some of the essential needs that you need. I always tell people, if you don't speak for your money, something or someone else will. You have to learn how to utilize a spending plan to speak for your money. In college, I used to always get refund checks. And with the refund checks, I had so many goals. I would be thinking, I would say, look, this is what I'm going to do with my money. I'm going to invest it. I'm going to make sure I put this much in savings. I had a good, phenomenal plan. But once I got the money, all that went out the window. Right? One of the biggest reasons was because you get excited when you get a lot of money, right? If you're going month to month on a certain amount of income and then you get a lot or receive a lot of money, things kind of change. Things go out the window. So what I had to do, and I made myself do this, was create a spending plan, right? My spending plan essentially allowed me to spend in confidence. It did not take away the things I wanted to buy. It helped me see the things I needed and make those needs versus wants decisions to see if I needed it now or I needed it later. Think about the hard-earned money that you receive each month, every 2 weeks, each week, whenever, right? You don't want that money to go out the window and then look up and say, where did that money go, right? And as we know, about 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. You don't want to always put yourself in that position, and one way to do that is to create a spending plan. Another good thing with a spending plan is it helps you prepare for what you used to perceive as unexpected expenses, right? Some of the unexpected expenses would be a parent, a friend, a family member calling and saying, hey, may I borrow X amount of money, right? If you have a spending plan, maybe you add the fact that you like to give money to your family to your spending plan. But we'll talk about that a little more. So what I want to jump into is how to create a budget, right? Some people can become overwhelmed with the budget. Some people have never tried budgeting or, again, a spending plan. But I encourage you in these times, this is the time to start. You do not want to continue to go week to week, month to month without really sitting down and determining the things that you absolutely need to purchase as well as those amounts. So here's a little template that I have that really shows you some of the things that you can add to your spending plan. So if you have multiple sources of income, you can add those in the income section. Housing, utilities, you want to make sure that you put it in the first column, which are projected expenses, right? A spending plan should be done at least 2 weeks, if not a month before you receive your paycheck, right? I'll say it again, at least 2 weeks or a month before you receive your paycheck. And the reason why is because you want to be proactive when you spend. When you get reactive in spending, you typically spend more, and sometimes you spend out of control, and it can cause a lot of frustration, miscommunication. So also thinking about if other people are impacting your money, or if you have a spouse, you want to make sure you're proactive as possible. But jumping back to the monthly budget or monthly spending plan, you want to put your projected amounts, and then you want to put the actuals once you receive the money, right? And you pay those off, and then add the due date and put a check, right? It's already paid. It's good. But here's an important tip. Schedule time each month to review your budget. Literally go in your calendar and put, I'm going to look at my budget this month. This day, right? I tell people about 30 minutes to an hour, you should be able to review your spending plan, right? Make adjustments to it as needed. Talk about additional income that you received, or talk about income that you lost. Because think about it, if you have a spending plan and something happens to your spending plan, right, or something happens to your income, you can go back and make adjustments. Maybe I don't need the Netflix subscription this month, right? Maybe I can sacrifice paying this bill because it's actually due the next billing cycle, not this one. But again, that strategy is really going to help you be more proactive with your spending. You want to put at least $500 to $1,000 away in an emergency fund right now, right? We're living in a place where right now it's an emergency, right? There's a lot of people losing jobs, and technically your emergency fund should be at least 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, right? All of your expenses should be included in that emergency fund, but you should start now, right? Take some money. If you need to pull it out in cash, pull it out in cash and put it away, but that should be in an emergency fund, not to be touched unless there is an emergency, and you should build from that. Here are a few resources that will help you budget your money and help with your spending plan. What I do on Amazon as well as my website is I'm always trying to put out tools that are realistic and extremely helpful as you think about ways to tell your money where to go and tell your money what to do. A lot of people talk to me about investing. I have some investing videos on YouTube. But before you get to the investment part, you have to build this discipline, right? And this financial foundation. So what you want to do first is go and purchase one of these planners, or if you have your own planner, you can do that. But for me, my planners, they come with more than just where to put your income. They come with a financial reality check inventory. I have a planner on me right now, the financial reality check inventory. I don't know if you can see this, but it allows you to take a self-evaluation of your finances, right, and things that you can work on, as well as pieces and parts to reflect on, right? Reflection is extremely important when you think about the why behind your finances. Think about your kids. I remember growing up, my mom, she didn't really talk to me much about finances, no fault of her own, but I grew up with this lack of knowledge and this hole or a gap as it pertains to financial literacy. And what I did was I made a lot of financial mistakes. I got into a lot of debt. My money was going many different places, and I felt very frustrated, and I felt attacked, right? I felt like I had to blame other people for something. But coming out of that, positioning myself to become more disciplined, paying over $80,000 worth of debt off just by budgeting, right? Literally using a spending plan and uncovering all the money that I worked so hard to receive. Now it was solely focused on where I wanted it to go. So I was able to go on trips. I was able to spend money on myself. I was able to spend more money on my kids and not always be reactive to my spending or spend my money on food, which was out of control until I had to record my expenses and realize that that was something that was out of control. But again, budgets or spending plans are extremely helpful in this time because we really need to see where our money is going. And I understand that some of you may not have a lot of resources or may not know where to begin to budget. But I tell people to start with your expenses so you know where your money needs to go. Before you think about income, start with expenses. And then from expenses, you look at income. So if your expenses are $1,000 a month and your income is only $8,000 a month, then you want to, your income or your expenses is $1,000 a month and your income is $800 a month. You need to figure out how you're going to get $200, or you need to decrease some of your expenses. When I coach individuals and couples, they always are able to uncover places where they probably don't need to purchase something right now, or ways that they can increase their spending. And this time, there are still side hustles that you can sign up for or apply for. I encourage people to look at those if you have the time and space. But this is a time where you want to start to build your financial foundation, because once everything clears, you want to be able to say that through these times, you were able to budget, you were able to spend appropriately, and then gain that discipline, because the next step from there is investing. You want to capitalize in the stock market. So when you get a chance, go watch my video as I talk about investing, but make sure you start with budgeting. All right. Finally, subscribe to the YouTube channel. What I'm going to do is continue to put out information. Leave in the comment section anything you want me to cover. I cover everything as it pertains to finances. If you need to learn how to tell your family no, then let me know, right? If you need to really engage in side hustles, let me know. If you want to figure out ways to monetize your lifestyle, let me know. I know a lot of people that can help with that as well. But again, I'm here to help you take control of your finances. No excuses, any means necessary. Check out my next video. Thank you.